Hot takes, great debates, highlights, basketball. So James Harden and Giannis Antetokounmpo are beefing. They've been beefing for quite some time now. And this is a real NBA beef. This is real bad blood. Like, if you're looking for storylines, if you want a great NBA Finals, hear me out on this. One of the best matchups of people who actually hate each other, stars that actually hate each other, that will literally try to go out and kill each other on the court. If the Houston Rockets somehow got through the Western Conference and the Milwaukee Bucks make it to the NBA Finals, they're the favorite out of the East as of right now. Boy, would this be a great matchup of guys who really hate each other at the top. James Harden, Giannis Antetokounmpo don't like each other. Here's where I personally believe this beef really picked up. It was last year. If you remember correctly, James Harden won the MVP 2 years ago. He wanted to go back-to-back last season, winning the MVP awards. He felt like he was the MVP. Giannis Antetokounmpo took the award last year. I would have picked Giannis to win the MVP award if I had a vote. There have been years in the past where I picked James Harden to win the award. As a matter of fact, one of the years that Steph Curry won it, I had James Harden winning it. That was the year Dwight Howard got injured. I thought James Harden was more impressive than Steph Curry that season. So I've been on the James Harden train before. The year he won it, I had him winning it. But last year, I thought Giannis Antetokounmpo's season was much more impressive. That Milwaukee Bucks team dominated in the regular season, just like they're doing this year. But here's where I believe the beef really picked up last year. As the two were battling for that MVP award, they, you know, and the times that they played each other, the games were intense last year. Houston versus Milwaukee. But when James Harden opted to not show up to the NBA award ceremony, the night that Giannis won his MVP, to me, that was it. They'll never be friends. Like, obviously through NBA circles, James Harden knew he wasn't winning the award that night. The three finalists were James Harden, Paul George, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. James knew he wasn't winning the award. But if you know you're coming in second place, third place, show up and shake my hand. Tell me I was the better man. Because when Harden won it, the second place guy showed up his year, right? Tell me I was the better man. Come shake my hand, say you got it, bro. Whether I agree with the decision or not, you got it. You were the MVP. They voted for you. Fine, I'll live with it. I don't like it, but I'll live with it. Harden doesn't show up to the Player Award show. Fast forward, we go to the summer last year. Harden does an interview to promote his Harden week, right? His Harden weekend that he does in Houston every year. He tells a local radio station, I felt like I got snubbed on the MVP award. We go into the 2019-2020 NBA season. We get to All-Star Weekend a couple weeks ago. The two captains, LeBron and Giannis. And everybody, I feel like all the stars behind the scenes feel this way about James Harden, but there's still a respect and admiration for his offensive capabilities, but they never say it. Giannis comes out and jokes with Charles Barkley during the live broadcast of the two All-Star captains picking their teams. Giannis says, I'm not picking James Harden. I'd rather have Kemba Walker. And I'm quoting him word for word right here. He says, I'd rather have someone who's going to pass the basketball. Giannis says that right out of his mouth. LeBron ends up picking James Harden. According to James Harden, he never heard those comments in a recent interview with Rachel Nichols. But I want to read to you guys exactly what Harden had to say about his rival, a guy that he feels like has snubbed him with MVP awards as of last season. He said, I average more assists than him even though he thinks I don't pass the basketball. I don't see the joke in what he's saying. But I wish I could just run and be 7 feet tall and dunk on everyone. There's no skill in that. Those are James Harden's words in a recent interview with ESPN's own Rachel Nichols. I want to say this about this conversation. I respect the offensive talents that James Harden has. Like, we don't give Harden enough credit, and he said it in his interview. He said people are going to appreciate me once I leave the court, once I'm done playing. And guys like Russell Westbrook and James Harden, and ironically they play on the same team now, they're right. when they leave the game of basketball, when they're no longer here, we're going to miss, if you don't care for how they play, because I'm not the biggest fan of how James Harden plays the game in regards to dribble, shoot. I don't got a shot. I'll pass it to a teammate, give it right back to me. Dribble, shoot. Literally, there are a lot of possessions where James Harden does nothing but dribble and shoot. No one else touches the basketball on his team on possessions down. But be clear. James Harden and Russell Westbrook don't cheat us any night. They don't cheat us. James Harden does not cheat us. As fans of the game, in the era where Kawhi Leonard is load managing, Paul George is load managing, Steph Curry is load managing, to a lesser degree, LeBron James is starting to load manage. James Harden never cheats us. Every night he's out there for his team. And the way he plays the game, I don't care if he just shoots a lot of jumpers. When he's not shooting jumpers, he's attacking the rim. Don't tell me there ain't wear and tear on his body. And he's almost a decade in at this point. The brother never cheats us. So if you don't got any other respect for James Harden, bare minimum, you respect the fact that he never cheats us night in, night out. So I want to big James Harden up in that regard. But let's keep it on the court. I don't believe Harden plays the game the right way. And I do believe Giannis is saying what a lot of other NBA athletes feel, stars around the league feel. I love James Harden, but I want to do it from afar. I don't want to play with him. In Kobe's last few seasons with the Lakers, God rest the dead, guys would say, Kobe is great. We love Kobe. But they wouldn't opt to play with Kobe. Similar situation with Harden in Houston. Ironically, the only guy that relished at the moment to play with James Harden is a guy who ball hogs just as much as Harden and Russell Westbrook. Those two were made for each other. That's why they're again playing with each other. It's the only thing Daryl Morey could figure out. Chris Paul looks like an all-star again this year. He is an all-star again this year without playing with James Harden this year. Dwight Howard is even having a resurgence to his career. Dwight looks better in LA off the bench than he did when he was playing with James Harden in Houston. The facts are the facts. Giannis knows it. A lot of guys know it. Giannis said it. Giannis Antetokounmpo does not have the skill set of James Harden. I want to put that on the record. James Harden is more skilled than Giannis. He puts in the work. He studies the rule book. He dribbles low. He knows what the refs are going to call. And he gets to the free throw line double-digit times a game because he knows the rule book better than most athletes do. Give him respect for that. Giannis is big, muscular, 7 feet. But if we're going to act like there's no skill set in that and what Giannis can do, he can dribble up and down the court. He can play point at certain times for your basketball team. Let's not disrespect Giannis. There are a lot of 7-foot guys around the league who can't get from the three-point line to the free throw line in less than a second and a half. So we're not going to act like Giannis doesn't have any skill set. And be clear, his game is developing. He's no longer just a guy that is trying to dunk the basketball in. He's shooting mid-range jump shots at a better clip. And his three-point game is the best it's ever been. Shooting around 2, making around 2 a game on about 5 attempts a game. Give this man credit. And he's not just a guy hanging around the rim. He's going coast to coast. He's one of the best, if not the best, defensive players in the game. He's right there in the defensive player of the year conversation. He'll be there every year that he's in his prime. Giving you 30 and 10. And all due respect to Chris Middleton, there are not 2 superstars on that Milwaukee Bucks team. There's one. Giannis Antetokounmpo is copying the LeBron James formula from the first time he was in Cleveland. If LeBron won the MVP awards, Giannis should be winning them too. I don't care that he's playing in the Eastern Conference. You want to know what's funny about that? It's not like the Bucks are going up against just Eastern Conference teams and destroying them. They've dominated the Clippers this year twice. Hell, when Kawhi was healthy and the Clippers were in Milwaukee, They lost by like 30 or 40. The Clippers dominated the Lakers. That's Giannis going up against Anthony Davis and LeBron James healthy. And the Bucks, for the most part, dominated the Lakers. So don't tell me he's just doing it against teams in the East. Hell, the Rockets, the Bucks beat the Rockets. Don't tell me he's just doing it against the teams in the East. He's doing it, the Bucks, Giannis and the Bucks are doing it against every team that's been thrown in front of them. They just so happen to play the Eastern Conference teams more than they do the West. Yes, we've had situations in the past where teams have been great against the East and bad against the middle of the pack of the West. This is not the case with the Milwaukee Bucks. They're beating the East and the West, and Giannis is leading that charge. I'm here for the beef between the two. I think it's great for the game. But here's the reality of the situation. Giannis, even though he averages less assists than James Harden, he more organically gets his teammates involved. I'm sorry, Harden. The truth is the truth. Yes, you might average more assists than Giannis, but his usage rate is lower than yours. You keep the ball in your hands every time down. You know what this is. You know what this is. I can't give Harden credit for knowing the game better than most athletes. I just said that 3 minutes ago, and then he not acknowledged the other part of it. I have to acknowledge both sides of it. Harden, you know for damn certain the reason why you average more assists than Giannis is not because you want to pass the basketball more. And real basketball fans, purists, we know this. How is the game being played? When Giannis plays for the Bucks, the game is more organically played. When he gets his triple-doubles, when Harden gets double-digit assists, it's forced. I'm not passing the ball because we're running great sets, because I want to pass you the basketball. I'm passing the ball because I have nowhere else to go. I'm double-teamed. I don't feel like shooting a 35-foot jumper on this possession. I'm tired. I'm passing in spite. Giannis is passing to develop plays. There is a difference. But I'm here for the smoke between Giannis Antetokounmpo and James Harden. It's great for the game. And there's real bad blood between these two. I love it. You into sports, we got you. NFL news, I got you. NBA news, NBA highlights, NBA full coverage, feature stories, all that great stuff, I got you. We even got a little bit of Madden and 2K mixed in. Subscribe to this platform, and I got you. More quality content on the way. Subscribe.